Congress and saying, we have more people dying from fine particulate matter than we do from cancer. So they're hyping this, and yet at the same time, they're giving these people who signed up for this 70 times the dosage that the EPA said would be fatal. She was very emphatic. She said, I'm not talking about making people sick. I'm talking about killing them. We tried to stop that. We tried to get a restraining order. The courts turned it down. The Medical Association in North Carolina was not interested in medical ethics. The university was not interested in medical ethics. The EPA is continuing to do this. They then moved to California, did it to children in California. Now they're back in North Carolina looking for black teenagers who have respiratory issues so they can make them sick, so they can grow their empire. I don't think that their current levels are as high and have the kind of effects that they say. But the idea that they can do these experiments without informed consent, and of course under the Nuremberg Code, the point we were making was under the Nuremberg Code, you cannot give informed consent for something that would kill you. That's not even allowed. So we have this systemically throughout the government. It's being done to people in the medical profession, it's being done to people in the military, it's being done to our children, and it's being done in human testing by our bureaucratic agencies.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of testing that we don't know about on things that, and places that we are not aware of. They did a lot of testing in biological testing in the Department of Defense without our knowledge. But, you know, and when we have had enough and say that's it, or there are some, there's some accountability for that, and these people all spend the rest of their natural lives in prison, I thought it would be the Gulf War. By the way that they were able to keep people from thinking that Gulf War veterans was sick is that this is the MO of the military or any government organization, is they will go to somebody like the RAND Corporation or, what is the name of the other one? The RAND Corporation and, can't think of the other one right now. But anyway, they would go to these organizations and pay them a huge amount of money to basically find out that that they have no position on it. And that's what they would do. And they would pay RAND Corporation, I forget how many millions of dollars, to come back and say, we don't find any evidence to support there's a Gulf War illness. Well, my goodness, evidence, you've got, 100,000 people that are sick that weren't sick before the Gulf War. You've got all kinds of evidence, but that's what they would do. And if the RAND Corporation said that, then they were able to say, well, we went to the RAND Corporation, we trust them, they're an independent organization, and they said there's nothing wrong, so therefore, and everybody buys into that for the next 5 years.
So the government uses a private corporation to give them plausible deniability, just as the private pharmaceutical companies use the government, either the FDA or other agencies, to give them plausible deniability, to give them a legal cover. We've seen this happen many times. One of the things that Dr. Orient was talking about was how the CDC had approved the rotavirus vaccine, and they had to withdraw that after a year of approval because it was so bad. And we see this over and over again with flawed or incomplete clinical trials when they were looking at the effects of GMO on rats. You remember those pictures of the rats that had the massive tumors coming out of France? And, of course, Monsanto said, that's not correct. We did our own studies, and they didn't develop any tumors. Monsanto did a very, very, very short study versus one that went a little bit longer with the French and gave time for the tumors to manifest themselves to show up. So you can rig these studies any way that you want. That's why it's important for informed consent that the CDC and the FDA and these other companies put the studies out there for the public to take a look at it, for the medical community to take a look at it. I remember going back to the swine flu thing back in the 1970s. There was a clip when 60 Minutes looked at it, Joyce, and they had Mike Wallace talking to the head of the CDC at that time about all the celebrity endorsements. And he said, yeah, we had all these celebrity endorsements. One of them was Mary Tyler Moore, and they went back to her after this debacle because a lot of people got Guillain-Barré syndrome from the swine flu vaccines that they pretty much scared the public into taking. And she said, yeah, my doctor was all for it. I was skeptical of it. I didn't do it. And he goes, how does your doctor feel today? And she says, he's very happy that I didn't do that. Very happy. Thought that I made the right decision. So even the doctors don't have all that information when they're talking to their patients.
Well, we're talking about a government that has gotten too big, too controlling, that we need to do something about, because that's how all of this illegal activity is able to be done. They have to have a VA hospital, for instance. There has to be the VA bureaucracy. It doesn't work. It's not effective, but they have to have it, because if you're going to look at all the experiments that were done in the military and brought forward, you've got to have a place that you can follow those experiments. And the VA is where you do it. That's why they don't go to TRICARE, or that's why they don't have another system, is because you have to keep quiet the experiments so they can follow them year to year and decade to decade. An example, BZ, a drug that is a hallucinogenic drug, was given to the Vietnam veterans during, of course, the Vietnam War. And the military, BZ is a hallucinogenic drug that's much worse than LSD. They gave it to half of the unit, and they wanted to see if that unit would kill, that half of unit would kill the other half of the unit that didn't get the drug.
Oh, absolutely.
And guess what happened?
Hang on, we got to take a break. Yeah, you're talking about LSD. There's an amazing book, A Terrible Mistake, that talks about the early days of the biological and chemical Mockingbird, not Mockingbird, but the paperclip operation. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Joyce Riley.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Are you hungry for delicious, nutritious, rich, and satisfying home-cooked meals? Discover the Vita Clay 4-in-1 Smart Organic Cooker. Unglazed Zisha clay, an ancient secret that makes this fast multi-cooker so special. Infusing your food with incredible flavors, perfect texture, vitamins, and minerals for your good health. It's a slow cooker, rice cooker, a steamer, plus a yogurt maker. Go to VitaClayChef.com and enter promo code RADIO20 for 20% off at checkout. That's VitaClayChef.com.
Attention Alex Jones listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to Alex Jones unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-562-5136. Try it now to listen to Alex Jones 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-562-5136. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear Alex Jones untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-562-5136.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. I'm talking to Joyce Riley from the Power Hour, another show that's on GCN. We've been talking to her about her experiences as a nurse, as a veteran, as a whistleblower about Gulf War syndrome. And of course, the website that she has a lot of information about the documents that she found out about the Gulf War syndrome is at gulfwar.com. One of the things that Joyce was saying was that even as a nurse, she didn't really take her health that seriously, didn't think about nutritional side of things, really kind of taking a respond to the disease when it happens. And I got to say, that's the way I've pretty much been pretty much all of my life as well. The only time I ever did something different to that was when my sister got cancer. We tried to do a macrobiotic diet with her, and we stuck to that for several years, the best I ever felt in my life. But you have to take care of yourself. One of the things that we didn't mention this hour, of course, are the specials that will help you to do that. And InfoWarsLife.com helps to support our operation as well. We now have 20% off Super Male and Super Female Vitality for the month of February. You'll find 15% off ProPure water filters. And we have a special where you can buy 2 Survival Shield X2 and get 1 Ancient Defense for free. And Joyce, as we were going out, that's one of the things that I think people need to take to heart, and that is to not only do your research about things that may harm you, but do your research about things that can actually help you, help your immune system, give you better health, and to look at what you're eating. Because when I look at the Amish and how they've got such a low incidence of autism, there's a full spectrum of things that they're not doing that we're doing, and things that we're not doing that they are doing. It's a very different lifestyle that we live in modern America, and we're paying the price for it in increased cancer and autism and so many of these different diseases, aren't we?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know, we create those diseases in our bodies. Now, there's a lot of things we can't do anything about, but there are a lot of things that we can change. And, you know, pure water, pure oxygen as much as possible, and then organic food. But what we're seeing now is, let me just give you an example from the Gulf War now. There were 697,000 troops that served in the Gulf War. There were only 140 that died during the Gulf War of the U.S. troops. And of those, 70 were friendly fire. So we only lost 70-some people in the Gulf War, in a whole entire war. But we have lost now of about 400,000 that have become ill and died as a result of the Gulf War. Now, why isn't anybody asking any questions like, why are 400,000 people dead and gone? And why is it that the Department of Defense is the biggest user of SSRI drugs in the world? The Department of Defense buys more SSRI drugs than anybody. I mean, this is sick. This is just sick stuff. And so now we're medicating these people to the hilt, and then they're dying in their sleep, or they're dying from suicides or homicides.
Absolutely.
But,
you know, it's so interesting to think about that. You could actually go to a war and look at how much lower the risk is to you of dying in that war than the chemicals, the vaccines, all these drugs that are coming from the pharmaceutical companies. And that's what's happening to us as a people. We see not only the increases in diseases like cancer, but we also see the decreased fertility rates. I remember it was just last week that they were talking about Italy being a dying nation because their birth rates were so low. But the thing I thought was interesting, Joyce, is so many times they'll portray that as being a lifestyle decision that people have made, saying that, well, they just want to have, the lady wants to have a career, they delay having children. But it turned out in this case it was lower for immigrants. That was down below 2 for immigrants. So I think it's something environmental as well going on there. Do you want to stay through to the next segment with us? Are you able to do that?
I've got to go to radiation today. I have to go. But thank you anyway, David. It's been a pleasure.
Joyce, I want everybody, Joyce would covet your prayers, and she's going through a very difficult thing right now with stage 4 cancer. Please keep her in your prayers. Thank you so much for joining us. Joyce Riley, the Power Hour.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball, Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.